we learned that in order to rebound, we had to hit bottom. We lost a war, a president, scads of business and industry, and our innocence. The one thing that we didn't lose was our stubborn need to preserve our dignity. No plan was too risky, no change too drastic, no leadership too corrupt, as long as we came out ahead. And with that resolve, we marched into the 80s, the decade of rebirth. With a strong new president and a tough-as-nails attitude, the nation gave notice to the world that we were out to kick ass and take names. But at what cost? True family values? Basic ethics? Or the soul of a nation? These were the times in which I came of age. And although they were decades of amazing events and historic changes, it would be the heart of one young woman, a mere child, that would inspire so many of us and restore hope to a shallow people. As I tell this story, you may find yourself thinking, I know of this girl. I've heard this somewhere. Perhaps you did. After all, it is said that the God of all people is omnipresent. And if that is so and you happen to believe, even just a little bit, then maybe you did. Maybe we all did. Part 1, 1960 to 1968. Life, the first gift. Then what? 1. Daughter, take courage. Your faith had made you well. Matthew 18, verse 22. Mendota, California, June 1960. The child played with a butterfly as she lay in the yellow-green grass next to the field where her parents were working. It was early summer and all the schools had just let out for the long vacation. Not that it mattered much to her. She was only 5 years old after all. The butterfly stood nearly motionless on her forearm, its green-blue wings moving up and down slowly, as if steadying itself. She squinted in the bright sunlight as she looked up to catch a glimpse of her mother in the cantaloupe field a few yards away. She smiled broadly, revealing neat rows of perfect little baby teeth as she made eye contact with Mama. Her mother shielded her eyes from the sun as she stood and straightened up, arching her sore back, her free arm behind her, low on her hip. She waved high and slowly to her daughter and called out to her husband, a couple of rows over.
Victor, mira niña.
Her husband waved from over his shoulder without looking up from his work. Maria Lopez shook her head tiredly and waved again to her daughter as she squatted back down to continue her labors. Panson, she muttered. She'll be grown and waving to her own children before he knows it, she said to herself, settling onto her knees and leaning back onto her heels. Maria chopped at another stem and placed a good-sized melon into her rucksack, inching forward to swipe at the next one. The little girl stood up and waved her arm, gently setting the butterfly free to sail away on the breeze. It was beginning to get hot out as the sun rose high in the sky. The warm wind felt good on her face, and she twirled round and round in the open field. When she got too dizzy to stand, she fell to the ground, squealing with laughter. Streaks of bright white sunlight ran across the clear blue sky as if they were chasing one another around the heavens, and she raised her hands to shade her eyes. Then suddenly something broke her concentration, and she rose up to her elbows, tilted her head and listened intently. She could barely make out the faint cry over the chattering of the crows gathered on the power lines along 3rd Avenue. Nevertheless, there it was again, getting a little louder with each passing moment. Then it was clear, a wailing infant. She listened to the shrill cries followed by brief seconds of silence as the baby caught its breath. The poor thing was probably hungry or wet and needed changing. It took a little while for the parents to notice the cries for attention. Soon the little girl could see a young woman running.